Well, we'll see how this goes. My journey back to wellness, I have been documenting my meditations, my walking, etc. But part of my journey started during Hurricane Irma. Dad and I barely survived the hurricane with our lives. A woman in our room actually died, was carried out dead on a stretcher from the only special needs shelter before Dad was rushed to the hospital. We had 2 trees land on our roof. We had extensive damage. One of the things that's yet to be fixed, because things I maybe shouldn't be talking about, but maybe I need to. It's a complicated mess, and I'm not happy with the trust attorney. And this should have been covered with the hurricane insurance that took me 4 years, and a very good hurricane attorney who wanted to go to court to recover over $200,000 worth of damages. But instead of being allowed to go to court, we were forced to settle out of court for only $75,000. Mind you, it took years to settle. It was maybe 2021 when we settled, but the money was not put to fixing the stuff. So today, I finally went and got a machine that you will see in my next snippet. Hopefully, I can fix this. So I'm not a pool expert, but I have smart friends, and one of my friends suggested trying to get a pool vacuum that doesn't need to be connected to the pool mechanisms itself, because my pool experts claim they can't vacuum properly because there's not enough suction, and there's not enough suction because we need to fix the pool pump and the pool, all kinds of things, jackhammer up the deck to get to stuff underneath. Over $20,000 worth of damages that should have been fixed according to their records in 2018, which is back to Hurricane Irma, when we had so much extensive damage, and then by the time we got around to really evaluating what was going on, it was 2018. And then unfortunately my dad died, and it has been one challenge after the next. But this is my journey back to wellness. Let's get things fixed. Now, in my journey back to wellness, after taking care of 3 elderly people for many years, 15, 2 of whom were in wheelchairs for several years, and one is still in a wheelchair. You learn wheels are your friends, and you learn to try not to overexert stuff, especially if you are injured. And although I've been on this journey back to wellness, I do probably have permanent injuries, including my shoulder. Not only did I have a torn disc in my neck after being hit by a car while driving my dad, who was in a wheelchair on oxygen at the time, and a car pulled out of a side street on 41 and sideswiped us, and anyway, I ended up with 2 frozen shoulders also, and I have a frayed tendon. So my shoulder's a little sore. Use wheels is my point. Let's see if I can do this. Now, before I bought this, I went over all of the specs with the people in the store. Of course, I think it's super easy. And the cord is 50 feet long, but the pool is 40 feet long. And the other end of the cord is only 6 feet long. That goes into a box. And I told them, well, the deck is much more than 6 feet away. So I'm definitely going to need an extension cord. But I'm hoping this will alleviate the problem of the pool people claiming they can't properly vacuum the pool. And if they don't vacuum, in Florida, in summer especially, you will get algae. And so the pool is not usable. And because the people who took the money that's supposed to be going to fixing the damages wouldn't let us pay to fix the pool properly, they also won't let us fix the air conditioning inside my house. So it's 87 degrees in the kitchen right now, and the living room, and the dining room, and my bedrooms. So it would be nice to be able to go in a pool. Okay, found the extension cord, and I pulled out one of the wheeling coolers because it's that time of year, and I'm getting the supplies together anyway. I don't want to do a major expensive renovation right before storm season, which is going to be fun. But I was also told this is great if storms come and put more debris in the pool. These clean out the debris. This is not a paid video to promote this. I'm still hoping it works, but that cord should plug it in properly, and it does convert to a special box in case you're watching this not all the way through. Do not put electronics in water. In case you're watching this, do not put electronics in water. There's a special converter box inside that you plug something into that allows the other end to be in water safely. Okay, so first time I plugged anything into there for a while. This is the whole system that got mangled in Irma and should have been fixed many, many years ago, but I'm dealing with people who don't want to fix problems. They just want to bill $600 an hour and give people money for things that are not fixing problems. Anyway, it's all about control, and it's partly why I have so much stress, and it's partly how John Irvin got held in Massachusetts against his will by corrupt people who forged documents and attorneys in a system that's just broken. I digress. Here we go. This blue cord is allegedly waterproof and goes into the converter box that allows you to get electricity to the machine while then being plugged into the outlet and not causing electrocution. Here's hoping. Okay, so it's all plugged in. I'm putting it inside the cooler because that can't get wet, and God forbid it start raining after I finally get this whole thing set up. Now, I'm told you just turn it on, and then this magically goes in the pool, and allegedly I put it in the pool before turning it on. Goes down and fixes all the problems. Bye. Okay, ready? Here we go. It's officially on as per instructions, which I did actually read. So just plug it all together. I'm keeping this in the cooler because they say keep it in the shade and it shouldn't be exposed to water, just in case it rains. Let's see what my little robot machine is doing. Oh my gosh, hello. back. And clean. Wow, look at this. Maybe it needs more rope. Oh, look at, you can see what a difference it is making so far. This is amazing. So some of you who've watched thus far might be asking yourself, why is she doing this? Why would the trust attorney not be using the money? Why would the trust attorney allow someone else to take the money and not fix the damages that the insurance was supposed to cover, to pay? These are all great questions. Some even ask, why do you stay? Why don't you just leave? Well, I've tried. I went through that scenario too, and I was kind of told I couldn't. And now the trust attorney is trying to claim he doesn't think the property should be sold for a variety of reasons, mostly tax. And, well, if I leave, they'll have to hire a property manager. And I was already promised, verbally and in writing, I was supposed to be compensated and reimbursed, but where is that? I'm kind of stuck. Anyway, here we go. Well, so far so good. It does seem like it's doing something it's supposed to do. So now, I call this a skimmer. I don't know, a friend of mine told me that when I do this manually, it's not called skimming the pool, it's called raking the pool. Do you all have opinions? I call it skimming. I do it every day, believe it or not. And we still get leaves. It's just the nature of life. And I'm grateful for most things. But yes, we all need to make sure things work properly. And what I was just saying, when people go, why don't you just leave? Well, one of the things the property manager would need to do is skim or rake the pool every day. Otherwise, everything will just continue to break down. And there are plenty of other things that need to be done. But if I were compensated and reimbursed properly, the system would also be working properly. Otherwise, as my dad pointed out, it's unlawful to force someone to do the work without compensation. And as agencies and professionals have pointed out, that makes me officially a victim of human trafficking. If I'm being coerced and promised things and forced to do stuff, well, we'll see how this goes. Also, I am documenting my journey back to wellness. And so far, it seems to be working. It's definitely doing a better job than the pool people have been doing for months or longer. What is he doing? Maneuvering. So robots have minds of their own. This is my first time using it. I don't know how much longer it can go before I empty the basket. It seems quite capable of doing a lot of things. I was told he can climb walls, which he sort of just did there. Part of the way, anyway. This is ever hopeful I am. Ever hopeful. Look how cloudy the water is, though. Because he's stirring up all the stuff on the bottom. But hopefully it will be cleaned. Okay, so my little robot friend has been out here for a while. See, is he still running? I don't see him. But I'm going to turn it off and pull it in. Yeah, he's still moving. And see if the basket needs to be emptied. So let's turn it off. Beep. Alright, so you can see that's a pretty good amount, but there was still some room in there, so it did something in the 2 hours, but it could have probably gone a little while more. I'm gonna put it in for a few more hours. Empty it out. When it's done again, I'm gonna hose it out, and then we shall see. Stay tuned. Let's see how this goes. Part 2. I can do it. Surely you can do it. But can I do it? I have been trapped here without realizing it for years, and I still can't even get the title for my car to be given to me, even after paying the same trust attorney $125 an hour for his assistant to come to the house. After years of $600 an hour back and forth. So I might not be the smartest person, but if I can do this, surely you can do this. Okay, part 2. Plugged in, turned on, and Mr. Roboto is back in the pool. So stay tuned one more time. We shall see if after a second vacuuming, maybe in daylight, the pool will be usable. It would be nice, because I'm sure it's going to be almost 90 again tomorrow, if not even warmer. Here, we'll give him some rope. Alright, do your thing. If you want to name Mr. Roboto, please comment below. Well, maybe making progress. But it does look like there's a lot of work to be done still. And this is after dumping the basket once already. Mind you, it's only Tuesday. The pool people allegedly came and vacuumed on Friday. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of stuff to go. Let's see if he can get it done. Okay, another 2 hours later. It is still going. Weather looks pretty murky. But did it get the rain? Still a bunch of leaves on the bottom. I'm gonna pull it up and see if we can what's it look like? Maybe we'll call it a night. See what it looks like in the daytime. Just a little FYI, I'm going to shut this off. This box is hot, very warm. It's off though. I'm gonna unplug it for extra safety. But the robot should be stopped because that's unplugged and the converter's on. And it's supposed to come back. Stay tuned. Ooh, second bucket. Almost a little more full than the first one. So, about 2 hours fills the bucket. And the pool is still covered with leaves. Well, another day and another at least 2 hours to fill the basket again. Might have to fill the basket twice, but that's how much was in the pool. And again, the pool people were allegedly here on Friday, but they claim they can't vacuum the pool. So, here we go. Mr. Roboto is going to go back in. I plugged it in already. That's waterproof plug. The extension cord's plugged in and goes to the converter. I'll put him in the pool first, just because it'd be easier and safer. Bye-bye. Give him some cord. And then turn it on. I'm keeping it in this, remember, because just in case it rains. And they say to keep it in the shade. So that's waterproof now. And there he goes. Doing his job. It is pretty amazing. You can see there's still so much algae on the bottom. That one path that little guy cut already, Mr. Roboto. It's not just the leaves, it's the algae. I'm going to get out. Well, he does seem to be gotten out. This is the third one he's doing. Alright, stay tuned for 2 hours. So you have noticed he hasn't gone up the whole wall. He goes up like to the wall. We'll see if he does it now. Come on, go up the wall like you're supposed to. Oh yeah, look, he did. Sort of. Alright, well that's right. Good, he didn't break the water line yet, but almost trying. Okay, so a couple hours later, I think it's full because it also looks like it stopped. So I'm going to turn it off. Maybe. Please turn off. Why can't I get it to turn on? There. Off. Unplug. Just to be extra safe. And then empty the basket. Oh look, he's come back. It's alive. Oh. Let's see. Huh. It's not as full. Maybe it needs to be hosed out. It does look like it's got some muck in there. So I'll clean it. Oh, and I found the latch. I think that's how I'm supposed to dump it. I'm not supposed to have to dump it out the top. I dump it at the bottom, which is what they told me. I don't want to break it though. I can't get it to open. So I'll dump it at the top. Leaves though. It's hard to see how deep those leaves are, but up to here. Let's see. 2 feet of leaves I've skimmed with the machine. Oh, look at all that muck. Yeah. Well, the pool people should have been vacuuming this out, but now I am. Hopefully my pool will get back to usable. Okay, so I hosed out all of that muck that was in here. Still cannot figure out how to open the clasp, but I don't want to break it, so I'm not forcing anything. I'm gonna do it again. Round number 4. There's still leaves on the bottom, but you know, you can see it is picking up some of the algae. Obviously, it picked up leaves and muck that was in there. It still has a ways to go. I did not hose it into the pool, just in case you're wondering. I took the hose far down over there, rinsed the basket out before putting the basket back in the little machine. We're still looking for a name right now. All I have is Mr. Roboto. If anybody would like to name the machine, put a message down below. Again, property manager would have to do more than just rake or skim the pool and run the little robot I just bought, but sweeping the leaves off the deck. In all fairness, I haven't swept them yet this week, so there's more than usual, but stuff just needs to be done. Landscapers are supposed to pick up all the leaf piles or pick up my bin that is currently 2 feet deep just of leaves, but it might be full. I usually have all kinds of trimmings and stuff, and it is something they are supposed to do. We'll see how this week goes. So this has been going for a few hours. It looks like it's stopped on the bottom, which is maybe meaning it's full. Still very murky, you can see. It's making progress, but there's still some leaves. And I do have to go do extra work. Alright, so that's and this is unplugged. Try not to get too dirty because I'm showered and ready to go. But let's see what's wrong with Mr. Roboto. People at the pool store said just pull it in like a rope. The book says you can just pick it up with the handle because it's supposed to come back to the side, but it did not come back to the side. So there it is. And we'll pick it up with the handle. And since I'm keeping it real with this video, a little revealing there. Didn't mean to show me. I'm filming it backwards. But it is a little weighty when you pull it out of the pool because it has water in it. Anyway, here we go. This is what I meant to do. Trying not to get dirty and wet. Let's see. I'm full again. Definitely a little. But you would think it wasn't gonna stop because there's a lot of room left. But maybe it's mucky. Alright, I don't want to get wet, so I'm gonna hang up. Yeah, it was definitely mucky. So I dumped it, not perfectly hosed out, but I'm gonna put it in again while I go to work and let it do its thing. So there's that. To get wet and dirty again. Bye-bye, Mr. Robot. Back in. Trying not to get wet and dirty. And I don't want to get all hot because it's also almost 90 degrees, somewhere around there. Alright, well, there it goes. Let's give it a go. See if it makes more progress. See the leaves again, they skimmed again, or baked, depending on what you want to say, but you definitely need to come put some chemicals in, or whatever they need to do. Leaves are mostly off the bottom. There's still some. Alright, Mr. Roboto, do your thing. Let's both get to work. Just in case it rains while I'm at work. It's covered, it's in a waterproof cooler, and that's waterproof. Alright, here we go. Okay, so here we go again. I just got home from work, and this guy stopped again. I don't know why, because it's only half full. But maybe it's mucky on the bottom. I don't really know why. It's not filling all the way up. Let's see. Because that's kind of important. So what is that? God, it looks like sand, but I think it's the algae or pollen or both. Alright, I'm gonna hose it out. Alright, so I hosed it out. Totally clean again. Except for that one leaf that now I have. And the handle down. Alright, back in Mr. Roboto. Still waiting to come up with a better name. If any of you have a better name, please send it down below. You can see his clean leaves, but still very murky. And whatever that stuff is he's picking up, that's down there. This is why my pool people have got to figure this out. Or if you know better ones, please let me know. Okay, here it goes. It's climbing up the wall. Up he goes. And down he goes. Alright, let's see what he does. He's still going. Alright. Well, the water is definitely still murky. But I don't see many leaves. Maybe some, but not many. Mr. Roboto is doing a better job than all the people so far. But hopefully they can work on the pH. Clean this up, huh? Alright, it is now Thursday. This stopped working last night, and I don't know why. I pulled it out in the dark though. It's not really full. Maybe that muck prevents it from sucking up stuff properly. I don't know. I did a bunch of times yesterday, Wednesday. Got it on Tuesday, ran it multiple times. I saw leaves. There's muck. Yeah, there's a lot of muck. Alright, I gotta hose this out and then put it in again. Okay, so this is how I'm cleaning out the basket. Just so you can see, I'm hosing. To get that, whatever it is. I don't know if it's algae or sand. I don't know how we get sand in there, but it's something that's clearly clogging. But now it's clean again, so let's do it again. Okay, so tossed Mr. Roboto. Yeah, and I didn't toss it. I gently placed him back in, and it is plugged in. And now my little contraption in case it rained. It's on. Why isn't he moving? Is he moving? No, he's not moving. Just put it down. Is this? Okay. Trying to turn it on again. What in the heck? There. Yeah, he's moving. That's alive. Alright, let's hope we can clean up more of this stuff by the pool. Humans are supposed to be here tomorrow. Hopefully they can fix the pH and make this better. Okay, so you can see it stopped. Still kind of murky, but not a lot of leaves. I don't know what's going on with it. It's definitely not full of leaves. It's not even that full. There is some like muck or whatever you want to call it. But it should. It's not coming out now. Okay, he's taking a nap, so I'm gonna empty his little basket, but you can see he's done an amazing job. The pool itself needs treatment, do it. I did just talk to pool experts who saw the videos and the photos, and they seem to think they absolutely can get this sparkly blue again. Some of my friends think I could even do it myself, which I am doing myself currently. Yeah, see, it's mostly empty still. Not a lot of leaves left, because there's hardly any leaves left, and I shouldn't open it in the pool, but there's hardly any leaves left. And it just is the water needing like chlorine or something. Unfortunately not. So we're going to use the key, which I think is the actual way to say it. And the people in the pool store told me this should easily just open to the bottom. See? Everything's easy when you know how to do it. Everything's very complicated when you don't. Yeah, see, it's still picking up like algae and pollen or whatever that is. Okay, there it goes. I tried to put him in closer to the steps because he seems to keep missing the steps, but otherwise he's done a very good job. This side is not as clear as the other side, but let's see. Maybe if I give him a little direction, he can come this way. Here he goes. Yay. Good. Good, good. Good. He got those leaves. And looks like he can do it. Here we go again. New pool company. But we did have 2 days of rain, so the pool is very full. And I'm determined to get my little robot working. Are you swimming? He's in his hands. There you go. Just suck up some of that algae. Alright, stay tuned.
But no one would say it was anything but honest. It was the work of an honest reporter, Don Hollenbeck. He also worked occasionally on See It Now. He did the 11 p.m. news over some of these stations. He had been sick lately, and he died this morning. The police said it was suicide. Gas. Not much of an obit, but at least we got our facts straight, and it was brief. That's all Don Hollenbeck would have asked. Good night, and good luck.
Our affiliates who just wanted entertainment from us, and I fought to keep our license with the same politicians you were working to bring down, and I never said no to you.
I would argue that we have done well.
Never!
I would argue that this network is defined by what the news department has accomplished. I would also argue not saying no is not the same as not censoring.
Really? You should teach journalism. Well, let me ask you this. Why is it that you always refer to him as the junior senator from Wisconsin?
Because he's the junior senator from Wisconsin.
Not likely. You taunt him, Ed, like a cat with a ball of string. But now you see you've opened the door. News with a dash of commentary. What happens when it isn't Edward R. Murrow minding the store?
Would it be?
Sunday. Afternoon.
How many episodes?
5.
Why don't you just fire me, Bill?
But I don't think it's what either of us wants. You owe me 5 shows.
You won't like the subject matter.
No, probably not.
Just once in a while, let us exalt the importance of ideas and information. Let us dream to the extent of saying that on a given Sunday night, the time normally used by Ed Sullivan is given over to a clinical survey on the state of American education. And a week or two later, the time normally used by Steve Allen is devoted to a thoroughgoing study of American policies in the Middle East. Would the corporate image of their respective sponsors be damaged? Would the stockholders rise up in their wrath and complain? Would anything happen other than a few million people would have received a little illumination on subjects that may well determine the future of this country? To those who say people wouldn't look, they wouldn't be interested, they're too complacent, indifferent, insulated, I can only reply there is, in one reporter's opinion, considerable evidence against that contention. But even if they are right, what have they got to lose? Because if they are right, and these instruments are good for nothing but to entertain and amuse and insulate, then the tube is flickering now, and we will soon see that the whole struggle is lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Fats down. Good evening. I'm Mike Wallace. This is a program of fact, news, information, and observation.
Thank you very much.
Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy.
Our goal is not the victory of might,
From Dallas,
but the
Texas,
vindication of right.
the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at
weapons of mass destruction.
Getting rolled by the Bush administration.
He's got him. He's got him. Look at New York City. This is the World Trade Center.
What exactly happened on 9/11?
Conspiracy theories continue to saturate the internet. Terrorist fist.
He was wearing this
For
tan
all you kids
suit.
watching at home, Santa just is white.
The big lie.
Centers on Dominion voting.
Company is called Dominion.
Another in a series of stolen elections.
President Biden has a photographic memory.
Totally focused. He's very sharp in meetings.
Get about the other.
Alternative facts to that.
FBI operatives were organizing the attack on the
AI had 26 of their people on the inside.
False flag operations.
Millions of dollars and
ABC News
apologizing
agreed
to
to
the
settle a
president of
defamation
that.
lawsuit.
reporter was barred from an Oval Office event.
From Air Force
As
One.
barred the Associated Press.
CNN has retracted.
A false story about a Democratic ambassador.
This is extremely dangerous.
To our democracy.
Dangerous to our democracy.
Crisis of
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
These instruments can teach, they can illuminate, they can even inspire. But they can do so only to the extent that humans are determined to use them to those ends. Otherwise, they're merely wires and lights in a box. There is a great and perhaps decisive battle to be fought against ignorance, intolerance, indifference. It's a fight for the very soul of this republic. And so the question is a very simple one. Not what power unchecked can do. We have seen that answer. No. The question is, what are you prepared to do? The fault, dear Brutus, good night, and good luck.